Obviously, a Marquette team we knew that was going to challenge us in some areas, specifically on the perimeter with their ability to get out in transition and shoot threes, and too many opportunities, specifically early, where we had either live ball turnovers or missed shots, allowed them to get out and run and get some confidence going, and obviously they did a very good job of capitalizing that on the other end. I like the way our guys battled back. I mean, to get it back and have it to 6 twice there in the second half. But again, to be able to be more consistent, and then obviously the missing a couple guys didn't help from in terms of perimeter defense, guys that have had experience and was starting to really come into their own a little bit in terms of the perimeter, to have to adjust and have different people out there without any repetition puts a little more stress on it. But it is what it is. It's part of the game, and we got to continue to improve and regroup and adjust as we take tomorrow off and then get prepared on Monday and Tuesday for a very good Western Kentucky team. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Again, mics on either side. Over on the right.
Coach, with Marquette shooting over 50% from 3, how much of that do you think was execution on your defense's part, and how much do you think was just them being hot and there being nothing you could do?
Well, I think I'll look at the film, and I'll have more a possession-by-possession analysis of it, of where the breakdown took place. Some of them were in transition, where it's hard to, when you have a scattered floor coming in transition, that you have to be able to match, not only stop the ball, but match shooters around the perimeter. Some of it was via either ill-advised shot or just missed shot in general. And then there was a few where we had some miscues or mistakes in the half court, where there was an exchange and an exchange didn't take place, and they were able to either get dribble penetration and force help and kick, or be able to come off the screen and be open. And they hit some tough shots too. I mean, they've done that all year. Watching most of their games, that's how they play. And when they're on, when you allow them to have that much space, whether it's in transition or obviously what Rousey and Howard are able to do with just pulling threes over the top of people, that puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
Jeff on the left.
Greg, when did you know for certain, with regards to both King and Trice, that neither one would be available?
I knew late yesterday morning on Trice, and I knew at about 9 o'clock last night on King.
Jesse, all right.
Greg, Brad and Ethan have been fairly consistent offensively for you this season. I know not having Kobe and Dimitri didn't help today, but is there anything you can do to get more offensive consistency and production from a lot of the other guys in your lineup?
Yeah, I mean, they got to continue to. I mean, Nate, I think, has come so far. I think Khalil needs to become more consistent. I think Trice and King being absent hurt us more on the defensive end because they've had so many reps, specifically when you have to play small against Marquette. I knew we were going to have to play, or we'd have to play smaller because of all the perimeter action, because of all the transition. And you have 2 guys that have been playing about 30 minutes a game here recently and have become better at those type of exchanges and handling that. I felt that their absence was going to impact us more defensively probably than it was going to be offensively.
In front.
Coach, down to your left, you touched on Nate's improvement a little bit. What did you think of the way he played today?
I thought he could have been a little stronger around the rim early. I thought he battled, though. He competes. I mean, that's one thing. That's why we pulled the red shirt. I really like the way he competed. He's got to get stronger, and he's got to continue to learn what he can and can't do, and he will. He learns every time he comes in and out of the game. He knew when he left his feet on Rousey's pump fake. He goes, my bad, Coach. So that's an experience for him that you can talk about it, you can try to teach it, but there's some things they have to go through and learn and figure out on their own. And when they do, they continue to improve. But I like the way he competes. I don't know. The ultimate one is Davison. The way he competes is unbelievable, and we got to continue to help other guys improve.
Jim in the back.
Greg, when you lose a bunch of games and then follow it up by finding out that 2 of the guys aren't going to be with you, do you have a finger on the pulse of the morale on this team?
I think they're upset in terms of they're very competitive. They want to have success now, but but it's an adjustment. I mean, it's. I think they probably found out after I did, or shortly around. We told the team yesterday afternoon about Dimitrik, and obviously with King, not until today. So it's part of it. You know, you have to rally, and everybody needs to step up. We need to fill into those positions and have next man step forward, and then everybody else needs to also do a little bit more, whether it's that's position we're void or in other areas, continue to improve. But they'll bounce back. They're a resilient group. We've had an unbelievable stretch here of high level games and have been competitive, and they've had to deal with a lot. So in time, this will help continue to improve and mature guys, and hopefully in the long run, we'll be better because of it.
Great. Following up on that, what more are you going to need out of your team as you adjust without Dimitrik and Kobe?
Well, I'll have to continue to. It'll be game by game as I look at opponents. Can it be a matchup that somebody can try to help with? You know, we decided to address Walt McGorry today, who had been redshirting just in an emergency situation, but Brad felt he was okay to go as much as he possibly could, and so we'll look at, again, what we got coming here. We have one more game, and then we have finals, so we'll have a little bit of break to catch our breath and evaluate then whether I've positionally changed some things around and slide some guys around to try to fill in, because obviously we're down to now Schlunt and McGrory as the only two guards on the bench. So we'll adjust and work at it and get some practice time with it. That was probably the biggest thing, just with one day and really no time with Kobe. We had planned Kobe in some positions to help alleviate some of the ball handling. I had him as the second point guard behind Brad. So that one we didn't have a chance to even practice without. So it was just Brad's going to go until he tells me he can't go anymore for today.
You mentioned Brad, Gregg, and he really has so much energy and offers so much. Considering his shoulder, do you ever have to rein or reel him in? I mean, what do you do to kind of stop him, because you don't want a third guy out?
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitor. You're not going to change who he is. That isn't his DNA. And I'd rather have it like that, where he's everywhere, and there are some youthful mistakes that he'll get better at as he gets more and more experience. But I'd rather have him like that than me having to coax him. But, I mean, he's diving on the floor. He's taking charges. I mean, you see, and he puts it all out there. And I thought he did a heck of a job of trying to lead us back and battle and compete. And you need other guys to continue to build and rally around that.
Cleve Everson seems like the type of player to perform better when he's playing confidently. Do you think it would help the team to get him more licks earlier in the game? Because I saw him have a couple of big plays in the end of the second half.
Well, he's able to get to the rim. The first half, they did a good job of shutting off dribble penetration when he tried to attack the rim in the first half. Second half, he was able to find a few more gaps. We had him spread out a little bit more a few times in the second half where he was able to get there. So that's really the difference in terms of what it's maybe not his intent. It's more on what's available from the defense.
Take one more for Coach.
Yeah, Coach, it seems like Marquette did a pretty good job of containing Ethan Happ. Obviously, he had 17 points, but also 5 turnovers, didn't really, do any lasting damage. Is that anything Marquette did specifically, or do you think Happ just had, well, for him, a relative off game?
Well, there's extra help to him, whether it was a double team or some extra help. And I'll look at the film and see exactly, why the decision was made, what resulted in the turnover, the cause and effect of it. Was it him trying to do too much? Was it somebody not in the right position? Did somebody not come and meet a pass that was made? So until I really go through and evaluate the film, then I can dissect possession by possession. But he draws a lot of attention, obviously, and we got to continue to try to build these other guys around him and grow their maturity and experience so he can have some more help.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.